Good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope you're doing hope you're having a wonderful day. In today's topic, I want to speak to you about how to progress on the WC Fitness online program. And the reason why I wanted to create this particular video so that you're on the same page. It may be a time where you can't get in contact with me, but I want to make sure I'm covering all the bases and so that your program can be smooth. Is that okay with you? So, first thing first, when you're looking at the exercises that I prescribe to you, I'm normally going to do two things. I'm going to probably put warm-ups, either with the resistance bands to kind of get the muscle flowing through the body, and then going into the actual exercise. So, you're going into week one, and I'm giving you 6 to 8 exercises on that particular day. So, I'm going to use example deadlifts and just say T-bar row or barbell row. So these are 2 moves, and normally on my programs, I'm normally going to ask you to do those 2 moves back to back. Why? Because they're hitting probably lower extremities and upper extremities. So if I'm using those two moves, deadlifts and barbell row, and on the program it says 4x10, first thing you're going to do, first week is always going to be your trial and error week. The reason why? Because you need to know far as it's the weight that you design, that you're estimating that may be heavy or not too heavy for you. Is it just enough for you? This is how you can gauge where you're at or where you need to start at. Is that okay? If I'm doing 4x10 deadlifts, traditional deadlifts, all I'm worrying about is the weights that is on the left and to the right side of the bar. So if you're doing deadlifts, you're looking at 45 and 45 on it, right? So you're doing 10 reps. When you go into the 6 and 7 rep and they're still not challenging with the 45 and 45 pound on that, then you need to increase the weight. The goal of the progression period is when you're doing any type of exercise that you should be struggling, or it should be challenging probably from the halfway rep of what I just put in the program to the end. So if I'm doing 4 sets or if I'm recommending 4 sets of 10 reps, it should be hard probably going into the halfway mark. So that means that your 5th and 6th rep, it still should be able, you should be still should be able to finish it, but it's a little bit more challenging. For any reason that the weights that you are making the choice to use is not challenging from rep 5 going into 10, you need to increase the weight. Point blank. If you're doing a barbell row and you're using 10 and 10 on each side and you're rowing it to your navel and it's not hard from rep 5 to 10, you need to increase the weight. And this is what, in the example that I'm using, just because I'm using those 2 moves, this is across the board. Across the board. If you're doing squats and I'm saying 4 sets of 10, with the bar on your shoulder, and you're putting 20 and 20 on each side, and by the 8th and 9th rep, that 20 and 20 still is not challenging for you, you need to increase the weight. Now, when we're looking at far as to increase overall, this is what I would like for you to make the decision to do. All right, because I'm not there with you, but I want to make sure that we're on the same page of how you need to go about going into week 1 and going into the future week. So I apologize for the length of this video, but I want to make sure I'm covering all my bases with you so that I don't forget to convey this information to you. So if I'm giving you 4 sets of 10 reps, you should be struggling probably from the halfway mark going into the end of the reps that I'm giving you. Second thing, whenever you're going into a progression of a workout, so first week is done. All right, so I'm gonna still use an example with the deadlift. If the first week is done and you find out that on the deadlift you have to put 60 and 60 on the bar for it to be challenging, let's speak about week 2. So week 2, you looked at your phone. All right, last week I did 4 sets of 10 reps on the deadlift and I had 60 and 60 on it. Now, when you go into that deadlift, going into that second week, you're going to look at where you finished at. You're going to say, you know what? I'm going to do 2 warm-ups. Your first warm-up, no matter what you do, is always going to be the halfway of where you finished at the week prior. So if I'm doing 60 and 60, now if they don't have 25s or 25, or it's going to be 30 and 30, you can go ahead with, you know what, I'm going to warm up on, my first warm up is always going to be 10 reps, 45 and 45. All right, that's your warm up set at 45 and 45. Keep in mind, you finished at 60. All right, your second warm up on the deadlift, you know what, I'm going to add another 10 and 10 to it. That's going to be 55, but you're only going to give me 5 reps. All right, so you got one warm up, halfway marker where you finished at. Your second warm up is always going to be about 10 pounds less than where you finished at the week prior. Now, this particular rule is across the board with deadlifts, squats, chest press. So if you're doing dumbbell chest press, and I'm giving you 4x10 on the dumbbell chest press, and you finished at 30 and 30, your first warm up should be what? 15 and 15 for 10 reps. Your second warm up can be 25 and 25 for what? 5 reps. Then you go into what? Your working set. So I wanted to make sure I created this video so that as you go into week 1, you're going into week 1 with a game plan, and also so that you can progress. Now, we spoke about week 1. We spoke about week 2 progression. Now let's speak about going forward, going into the future weeks, what I am expecting of you to do. As the weeks progress, the goal is to progress. It's called progressive overload principle. So what that means, if going into the second week, you finished at 65 on the deadlift, that third week, what do you think I would like for you to progress to? 70 and 70. That fourth week, where would I like for you to finish to? 75 and 75. Now, what we're doing, we're making small progressions week in and week out so that you can not only get better, you can help create lean muscle for you. Because one thing you need to understand is that if you don't progress, your body doesn't adapt. So once it tries to adapt and then you continue to give it more, your body's creating lean muscle behind the scenes. Wow. Okay? So I wanted to make sure I conveyed this information to you. I didn't want to make it too long, but I wanted to make sure that I was able to express, and the information that you need and also was vital for you to progress was there for you at your disposal. So if you have any questions or you need me, you know where to reach me. Other than that, I've given you some important information so that you can be successful. Talk to you soon.